My hands won't stop shaking as I stare at the check in front of me. 7 zeros. 7. I've counted them like 5 times now, and they're still there. But let me back up, because you're not going to believe how I got here. My name's Marcus Chen. I'm 23 years old, and up until 3 days ago, I was flipping burgers at a Burger King off Highway 75 in Dallas, Texas. Not exactly living the dream, you know? I'd been working there for almost 2 years, pulling double shifts most weeks just to keep my head above water. My mom had cancer, stage 3 breast cancer, and even with insurance, the medical bills were drowning us. Real quick before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life confessions. Trust me, this story gets even crazier. Let's get into it. So yeah, I was working 2 jobs back then. Burger King from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., then I'd hustle over to this warehouse gig from 4 to midnight, loading trucks for minimum wage. I was getting maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, living off energy drinks and whatever free food I could snag from BK. My apartment was this tiny studio in a sketchy part of town. Roaches, broken AC, the whole 9 yards. But it was cheap, and every dollar I saved went to Mom's treatment. I remember this one morning in particular. It was a Tuesday, early October. I'd just gotten off my warehouse shift at midnight, crashed for a few hours, and dragged myself back to Burger King by 5:30 a.m. to prep for the breakfast rush. My manager, Dave, was this middle-aged guy who basically lived at that restaurant. He was decent enough, always let me take home the food that was about to expire. "You look like hell, Marcus," he said when I walked in through the back door. "Feel like it too," I muttered, tying on my apron. "How's it looking today?" "Same as always. Tuesday breakfast crowd. Nothing special." Nothing special. That's what I thought too. The morning started out totally normal. We got the usual customers, construction workers grabbing breakfast sandwiches, nurses from the hospital down the street getting coffee before their shifts, high school kids stopping by before first period. I was on register duty, taking orders with that fake customer service voice I'd perfect. "Hi, welcome to Burger King. What can I get started for you today?" Around 8:30, things had slowed down a bit. That's when he walked in. I didn't think anything of him at first, just another customer. He was probably in his late 60s, wearing this expensive-looking navy suit that seemed kind of out of place for a Burger King. Tall guy, gray hair, had this commanding presence about him. But hey, rich people eat fast food too, right? "Good morning, sir. What can I get for you?" I asked. He smiled, and I remember thinking he had kind eyes. "Coffee, black, and one of those sausage, egg, and cheese croissants." "You got it. For here or to go?" "I'll eat here. Need to make a phone call anyway." I rang him up, he paid cash, and I handed him his receipt. He took his coffee and sat down in one of the booths near the window, looking at his phone. I thought that would be the last interaction we'd have. But I had no idea what was coming next. About 5 minutes later, I was wiping down the counter when I heard this weird sound. Like choking, but worse. Gagging. I looked up and saw the guy in the suit clutching his throat, his face turning red. He was alone at his table, and none of the other customers had noticed yet. Time literally slowed down. I vaulted over that counter, didn't even think about it, and ran to his table. He was standing now, trying to cough, but nothing was coming out. His face was going from red to purple. Sir, are you choking?" Stupid question, I know, but my brain was in autopilot. He nodded frantically, his eyes wide with panic. I'd taken this mandatory CPR and first aid course when I first got hired at Burger King. It was one of those things you sit through and hope you never have to use, but in that moment, everything came flooding back. I got behind him, made a fist, placed it just above his belly button, grabbed my fist with my other hand, and started doing abdominal thrusts. 1. Nothing. 2. Still nothing. 3. His face was almost blue now. Come on, I was saying under my breath. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. 4. 5. On the 6th thrust, a piece of sausage shot out of his mouth and landed on the table. He immediately started coughing, gasping for air, doubled over. I kept my hand on his back, steadying him. "Just breathe, sir. You're okay. Just breathe." The whole restaurant had gone silent. Everyone was staring. Dave came running out from the back. "Marcus, what happened?" "He was choking. He's okay now." I was shaking, adrenaline coursing through me. The man straightened up slowly, still coughing a bit, his face returning to a more normal color. He turned to look at me, and there were tears in his eyes. "You..." His voice was hoarse. "You just saved my life." Anyone would have done the same thing, sir. Are you okay? Do you need me to call 911? No, I'm fine. Thanks to you." He grabbed my shoulder, steadying himself. "What's your name, son?" "Marcus. Marcus Chen." Marcus Chen. He repeated it like he was memorizing it. "I'm Robert Harrison." The name meant nothing to me at the time. Should it have? Maybe. But I was just relieved he was breathing. "Do you want some water, Mr. Harrison? You should sit down for a minute." "Yes, water would be good." I got him a cup of water, and he sat back down in his booth. His hands were trembling as he took a sip. Dave had called the paramedics just to be safe, and they showed up about 10 minutes later. They checked him out, said he was fine, but recommended he go to the hospital just for observation. He refused. "I have meetings all day," he told them. "I'm fine. This young man saved my life." The paramedics eventually left. The other customers had gone back to their meals, the excitement over. I was about to return to work when Mr. Harrison called me over. "Marcus, sit down for a sec. I really should get back to... Please, just for a minute." I glanced at Dave, who nodded, so I slid into the booth across from Mr. Harrison. "I need to know something," he said, looking at me intently. "Why did you react so fast? Most people freeze in situations like that." I shrugged. "I don't know. I just saw you needed help and I couldn't just stand there." "Have you saved anyone before?" "No, sir. First time. Hopefully the last time, too." I tried to laugh, but it came out shaky. He studied my face for a long moment. "How old are you, Marcus?" 23. "And you work here full time?" "Here, and another job. Warehouse work at night." His eyebrows raised. "2 jobs?" I didn't really want to get into my whole life story with this stranger, but there was something about the way he was looking at me, not with pity, but with genuine interest. My mom's sick, cancer, medical bills are, so I work whatever I can. "And your father?" "He passed away when I was 15. Heart attack." Mr. Harrison leaned back in the booth, still watching me with those thoughtful eyes. "Marcus Chen. I'm not going to forget that name." "You don't have to. I'm just glad you're okay, sir." "I'm more than okay, and you're more than just anything." He pulled out his wallet and tried to hand me some cash. Looked like a couple $100s. "No, sir, I can't take that. Really, I'm just happy I could help." "Marcus, please, it doesn't feel right." He slowly put the money back in his wallet, but he was smiling. "You're a rare person, you know that. Most people would have taken the money without thinking twice." I stood up, uncomfortable with the praise. "I need to get back to work, Mr. Harrison. Take care of yourself, okay? And maybe cut your food into smaller pieces next time." He laughed, a real full laugh. "I will. Thank you again, Marcus. I mean it. Thank you." "You're welcome, sir." I went back behind the counter, and Mr. Harrison stayed for another few minutes, finishing his coffee. Before he left, he waved at me, and I waved back. Then he was gone, and I thought that was the end of it. Little did I know, that was just the beginning. The rest of my shift was pretty uneventful. A few customers asked me about what happened, and Dave clapped me on the shoulder and said I did good. But mostly, things went back to normal. I was exhausted, running on fumes, counting down the hours until I could grab a few hours of sleep before my night shift. When 3 p.m. rolled around, I clocked out and headed to my car, this beat-up 2005 Honda Civic that barely ran. The check engine light had been on for like 6 months. Couldn't afford to fix it. As long as it started, I was good. I drove straight to the hospital to visit my mom. She was in the middle of her second round of chemo, and it was hitting her hard. When I walked into her room, she was sleeping, looking so small in that hospital bed. She'd lost all her hair, lost so much weight. It killed me to see her like that. I sat in the chair next to her bed and just watched her breathe for a while. The machines beeped steadily. The TV in the corner was on mute, showing some daytime talk show. "Hey, baby." Her voice was weak, but she was smiling at me. When had she woken up? "Hey, Mom, how you feeling?" Like I've been hit by a truck. She tried to laugh, but it turned into a cough. I grabbed her water cup and helped her take a sip. "How was work?" "Actually, something crazy happened today." I told her the whole story about Mr. Harrison choking and how I'd done the Heimlich maneuver. Her eyes went wide. "Marcus, you saved someone's life." "I guess I did." "I'm so proud of you." She reached for my hand and squeezed it. Her grip was so weak. "Your father would be proud too." "Thanks, Mom." I squeezed back gently. "How was chemo today?" "The usual. Dr. Patel says we'll know more after the next scan. I'm feeling hopeful, baby. I really am." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly. But the medical bills kept piling up, and I knew we couldn't afford much more treatment. We'd already blown through my dad's life insurance money. I was drowning in credit card debt from covering her medication. But I wasn't going to tell her any of that. "That's great, Mom. I'm hopeful too." We talked for another hour about nothing important. Her favorite nurse, the terrible hospital food, whether I was eating enough. Eventually, she got tired again, and I kissed her forehead and left. I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot for a solid 10 minutes, just staring at the steering wheel. I was so tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. I felt like I was drowning, and there was no way out. But I didn't have time for a breakdown. I had to get to my warehouse. The next 2 days were a blur. Work, hospital, work, sleep, repeat. On Thursday morning, I was back at Burger King for my usual shift. Dave pulled me aside as soon as I walked in. "Marcus, there's some guy here asking for you. Says he knows you?" "What guy?" "Older guy, fancy suit. He's been waiting in a booth for like 20 minutes. My heart skipped. "Mr. Harrison?" "Didn't give me his name, just said he needed to talk to you." I walked out to the dining area, and sure enough, there he was. Mr. Harrison, sitting in the same booth as Tuesday, 2 cups of coffee on the table. When he saw me, he stood up and smiled. "Marcus, good morning." "Mr. Harrison, what are you doing here?" "I was hoping we could talk. Do you have a few minutes before your shift starts?" I glanced at Dave, who waved me off. "Go ahead, I'll cover the register." I slid into the booth across from Mr. Harrison again. He pushed one of the coffees toward me. "I got you a coffee. Black, right? I noticed you drinking it Tuesday." Yeah, thanks." I took a sip. It was still hot. "Is everything okay? Are you feeling all right?" "I'm feeling perfect, thanks to you. But that's actually why I'm here. I've been thinking a lot over the past couple days, Marcus, about what you did for me, about the kind of person you are." I shifted uncomfortably. "I told you, anyone would have—" "No." He cut me off firmly. "Not anyone. In fact, very few people would have reacted the way you did, and even fewer would have refused the money I tried to give you. I just did what felt right." "Exactly. That's what I'm talking about." He leaned forward, his hands wrapped around his coffee cup. "I did some research on you, Marcus. I hope you don't mind." My blood ran cold. "Research?" "Nothing invasive. Just wanted to know more about the young man who saved my life. I know about your mother's cancer, about your father's death, about your 2 jobs and your mounting debt." I felt my face flush with embarrassment. "I don't need charity, Mr. Harrison. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering an opportunity." "What kind of opportunity?" He pulled out his phone and showed me an article. It was from Forbes. The headline read, "Robert Harrison, billionaire tech mogul, announces retirement plans." I looked from the phone to him. "You're a billionaire?" "Guilty as charged. I founded Harrison Tech Solutions 30 years ago. We do cybersecurity and cloud computing. You've probably never heard of us. We work mostly with government and corporate clients. But yes, I've done quite well for myself." My mind was reeling. I'd saved a billionaire. An actual billionaire. Okay, I said slowly. What does that have to do with me? I'm looking for someone to lead my charitable foundation. Someone with integrity. Someone who understands what it means to struggle. Someone who cares about people more than money. And I think you might be exactly what I'm looking for. I almost laughed. Mr. Harrison, I appreciate that, but I'm a fast food worker. I don't have any experience running a charity. I barely graduated from community college. Some of the best leaders I've ever known didn't have fancy degrees. They had character. They had heart. They had perspective. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. The position would pay $150,000 a year to start, with full benefits, including premium health insurance that would cover your mother's treatment. I literally couldn't breathe for a second. $150,000 a year, health insurance for my mom? You're serious. Dead serious. I didn't get where I am by joking around, Marcus. But why me? You don't even know me. I know that when you saw someone in trouble, you helped without hesitation. I know you work yourself to exhaustion to take care of your mother. I know you refused money from a stranger because it didn't feel right. That tells me everything I need to know. I sat there in stunned silence, my coffee getting cold in my hands. This couldn't be real. Things like this didn't happen to people like me. I need time to think, I finally said. Of course. Here's my card. Call me when you've made a decision, but don't take too long. I'd like to get someone in place within the next month. He slid a business card across the table. Robert Harrison, CEO and founder, Harrison Tech Solutions. There were several phone numbers and an email address. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Really, I'm overwhelmed. I understand. Talk to your mother about it. She might have good perspective. He stood up, shook my hand firmly, and left. I sat there for another 10 minutes, just staring at the business card, wondering if I'd imagined the entire conversation. Quick reminder, if you're invested in this story, hit that like button if you haven't already, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next, because it gets even more insane. That night, after my warehouse shift, I went straight to the hospital. It was almost 1 a.m., way past visiting hours, but I knew one of the night nurses, and she let me slip in. Mom was awake, reading a book under the dim light. Marcus? What are you doing here so late? I sat down and told her everything. The whole story just poured out. Mr. Harrison returning, the job offer, the salary, the health insurance. She listened without interrupting, her eyes getting wider and wider. When I finished, she was crying. Mom, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, baby. These are happy tears. Do you know what this means? That my life is about to completely change? Yes, Marcus, this is an answer to prayer. This is a miracle. It doesn't feel real. Then make it real. Call him tomorrow and accept the job. But what if I'm not qualified? What if I screw it up? She grabbed my hand with more strength than I'd felt from her in weeks. You listen to me. You are smart, you are capable, and you have more integrity in your little finger than most people have in their entire bodies. This man sees something special in you. Don't you dare doubt yourself. Tears were streaming down my face now. I'm scared, Mom. I know, baby, but sometimes the best things in life come from taking a leap of faith. The next morning, I called the number on Mr. Harrison's card. He answered on the second ring. Marcus? How did you know it was me? He chuckled. I've been waiting for your call. What's your answer? If the offer's still on the table, I accept. Excellent. Can you come to my office today? We have a lot to discuss. I have my shifts. Quit them. Effective immediately. I'll cover any lost wages. We need to get you started right away. My head was spinning. Okay, yes. Where's your office? He gave me an address in downtown Dallas, in one of those sleek glass towers I'd driven past a million times, but never imagined go. Come at 2 p.m. Dress casually. We're not formal here. See you soon, Marcus. I called Dave and gave him my notice. He was shocked, but happy for me. You deserve it, kid. You're going to do great things. Then I called the warehouse and quit that job too. My supervisor was less understanding, said I was leaving them in a bind. But I didn't care. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. I went home, took the first real shower I'd had in days, and tried to find something decent to wear. The best I had was a pair of khakis and a button-down shirt I'd worn to my dad's funeral. It would have to do. At 1:45 p.m., I was standing in front of the Harrison Tech Solutions building, craning my neck to see the top. It was at least 40 stories tall, all glass and steel, imposing as hell. The lobby was intimidating. Marble floors, modern art on the walls, security guards in suits. I walked up to the reception desk, feeling completely out of place. "Hi, I'm here to see Robert Harrison." The receptionist, a woman in her 30s with perfect makeup, smiled at me. "You must be Marcus Chen. Mr. Harrison is expecting you. Take the elevator to the 40th floor. Someone will meet you there." The elevator was faster than any I'd ever been in. My ears popped on the way up. When the doors opened, I stepped out into another impressive lobby. A woman in a business suit was waiting. "Marcus, I'm Patricia Williams, Mr. Harrison's executive assistant. Follow me, please." She led me through a maze of offices and conference rooms. Everyone we passed looked important and busy. Finally, we reached a corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Dallas. The view was incredible. Mr. Harrison was standing at the windows, his back to us, talking on a cell phone. Patricia knocked softly, and he turned around, his face breaking into a huge smile when he saw me. "I'll call you back," he said into the phone and hung up. "Marcus, welcome, welcome. Come in, sit down." "Patricia, can you hold my calls for the next hour?" "Of course, sir." She left, closing the door behind her. Mr. Harrison gestured to a leather couch near the windows, and we both sat down. A coffee table between us had bottles of water and a plate of cookies. "Help yourself," he said. "I bet you didn't eat lunch." He was right. I grabbed a cookie, chocolate chip, still warm, and a water bottle. "So," Mr. Harrison began, "I want to explain exactly what this job entails. The Harrison Foundation gives away approximately $50 million a year to various causes: education, healthcare, poverty relief, disaster response. Right now, I have a small team that manages it, but I've been unhappy with their approach. Too corporate, too focused on tax benefits and I want someone who actually cares about making a difference, someone like you." "What would I actually be doing?" "You'd be reviewing grant applications, visiting organizations we're considering funding, making recommendations about where the money should go, working with beneficiaries to ensure the funds are being used properly. You'd have a team to help you, accountants, lawyers, researchers, but you'd be the heart of the operation. Your instincts, your values would guide the foundation." It sounded terrifying and exciting at the same time. "And you think I can do this?" "I know you can. We'll provide training, of course. You'll shadow me for the first few months, learn the ropes. But I have complete faith in you, Marcus." "When would I start?" "Monday, which gives you the weekend to get settled. Oh, and there's one more thing." He pulled an envelope from his jacket pocket and handed it to me. I opened it. Inside was a check made out to me for $50,000. My jaw dropped. "What is this?" "A signing bonus. Use it to pay off your debts, buy yourself some decent work clothes, get your car fixed, whatever you need." "Mr. Harrison, I can't accept this." "Yes, you can, and you will. Marcus, you saved my life. This is the least I can do." I looked down at the check, my hands shaking. $50,000. That would wipe out my credit card debt, pay off my mom's outstanding medical bills, and still leave enough for a cushion. It was more money than I'd ever seen in my life. I don't know what to say. "Say you'll make me proud. That's all I ask." "I will. I promise I will." We spent the next 2 hours going over details: salary, benefits, my new health insurance that would start immediately and cover my mom's treatment at 100%. He'd already had Patricia draw up all the paperwork. I signed about 20 different documents, feeling like I was in a dream. When I finally left his office, I sat in my car in the parking garage and just stared at the check. This morning, I'd been a fast food worker with no prospects and crushing debt. Now I was the director of a $50 million foundation with a 6-figure salary. What happened next completely blindsided me. I went straight to the bank and deposited the check. The teller's eyes went wide when she saw the amount, but she processed it without comment. Then I drove to the hospital. Mom was having a good day. She was sitting up, eating Jell-O, watching TV. When I walked in, she muted it and smiled. How did it go? I told her everything. Showed her the benefits paperwork that said her treatment was now fully covered. Told her about the salary, the signing bonus, the job itself. She cried. I cried. We held each other and cried. God is so good, she kept saying. God is so good. Maybe she was right. I didn't know. All I knew was that my life had just completely changed, and it was all because I'd helped a stranger who was choking on a breakfast sandwich. The weekend flew by. I went shopping for work clothes. Nothing too fancy, but nice button-downs, slacks, a couple of ties, actual dress shoes instead of sneakers. I got my car fixed. Turned out it needed a new transmission, which cost $3,000, but I could actually afford it now. I paid off my credit. I paid 3 months of rent in advance on my crappy apartment, even though Mr. Harrison's assistant had already emailed me about finding a better place. On Sunday night, I barely slept. I was too excited and nervous about Monday. At 8:45 a.m., I walked into the Harrison Tech Solutions building wearing my new clothes, feeling like an imposter, but the security guard recognized me and waved me through. Patricia was waiting at the elevator. Good morning, Marcus. Ready for your first day? As ready as I'll ever be. She smiled. You're going to do great. Follow me. She took me to an office on the 39th floor. It wasn't huge, but it was beautiful. Windows, a real desk, a computer, bookshelves. My name was already on a placard outside. Marcus Chen, Director, Harrison Foundation. This is all mine, I asked. All yours. Mr. Harrison wants you to feel at home. Get settled, and he'll come by in an hour to start your orientation. The next few weeks were intense. Mr. Harrison personally trained me, taking me to site visits, teaching me how to evaluate organizations, explaining the legal and financial aspects of running a foundation. I met with lawyers, accountants, program officers. I reviewed dozens of grant applications, learning to spot the difference between organizations that were doing real work and ones that were just after money. I worked harder than I ever had at Burger King or the warehouse, but it was different. This work mattered. Every decision I made could change someone's life. One afternoon, about a month into the job, I was in my office reviewing applications when Mr. Harrison knocked on my open door. Got a minute? He asked. Of course, come in. He sat down across from my desk, looking more serious than usual. I need to tell you something, Marcus. Something I probably should have told you earlier. My stomach dropped. Okay? I didn't find you by accident. I mean, you did save my life. That part was chance. But coming to Burger King that morning wasn't random. I don't understand. I have a tradition. Once a month, I go somewhere I wouldn't normally go. A fast food place, a convenience store, a laundromat, and I just observe people, talk to people. It keeps me grounded, reminds me where I came from. That's why I was at Burger King that morning. So the choking, that was completely real. I genuinely could have died if you hadn't helped me. But here's what I haven't told you. I have a son. I sat back in my chair, confused. Okay? His name was David. He would have been about your age. He died 10 years ago in a car accident. Mr. Harrison, I'm so sorry. Thank you. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. My marriage didn't survive it. My wife and I divorced 5 years ago. David was our only child. His voice cracked slightly. When you saved my life, when I saw the kind of person you are, you reminded me so much of him. He was kind like you, hard-working, humble. I see so much of him in you. My throat was tight. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know that when I offered you this job, it wasn't just gratitude. It was also because I see potential in you, the same potential I saw in my son, and I want to help you reach it. Thank you, I managed. That means more to me than you know. He stood up, wiping his eyes. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Oh, and there's a board meeting next week. I want you to present the recommendations for the Q4 grant allocations. Think you're ready? My heart raced. A board meeting in front of everyone? You'll be fine. Just be yourself. Over the next few days, I prepared like crazy for the board meeting. Patricia helped me put together a presentation. I practiced it in my apartment, in front of the bathroom mirror, in my car. By the time the meeting rolled around, I had it memorized. The boardroom was on the top floor, the 41st, and it was intimidating as hell. A long mahogany table, leather chairs, huge windows with a view of the entire city. The board members started filing in, CEOs, investors, philanthropists, all of them at least twice my age, all of them looking at me curiously. Mr. Harrison introduced me, and I launched into my presentation. I talked about the organizations I'd vetted, the programs I thought we should fund, the potential impact of each grant. My voice shook at first, but as I got into it, I found my confidence. When I finished, there was a moment of silence. Then one of the board members, an older woman named Dr. Patricia Gonzalez, started clapping. Then everyone joined in. "Excellent work, Marcus," she said. "Your recommendations are thoughtful and well-researched." "I seconded," said another. Mr. Harrison was beaming. "All in favor?" Everyone raised their hands. Motion passes. "Marcus, congratulations on a job well done. I felt like I was allocated $10 million to causes I believed in, and that was incredible. But then, 2 months into my job, something happened that I never could have predicted. I was at a charity gala that the foundation was sponsoring. My first time attending one of these fancy events. I was wearing a rented tux, feeling completely out of my element, when I saw her. She was standing by the bar, wearing a stunning red dress, talking to some older couple. Long dark hair, bright smile, and when she laughed, I could hear it across the room. She was beautiful. Our eyes met, and she smiled I smiled back, probably looking like an idiot. Before I knew what I was doing, I'd walked over to her. "Hi," I said brilliantly. "Hi yourself." Up close, she was even more beautiful. "I don't think we've met. I'm Sophia." Marcus Chen. The Marcus Chen, the new director of the Harrison Foundation. I've heard about you. All good things, I hope. Very good things. Robert speaks highly of you. You know Mr. Harrison? He's my godfather. I've known him since I was a kid. We ended up talking for the rest of the evening. She was a pediatric oncologist at Children's Medical Center, specializing in childhood leukemia. She was brilliant, funny, down to earth, despite clearly coming from money. We talked about our work, about our families, about everything. At the end of the night, I asked for her number. She gave it to me without hesitation. "Call me," she said. "I'd love to have coffee sometime." "I definitely will." I called her the next day. We met for coffee, which turned into dinner, which turned into a second date, and a third. Within a month, we were officially together. She met my mom, who adored her. I met her parents. Her father was a cardiovascular surgeon, her mother a lawyer, and they were surprisingly warm and welcoming. "I like this one," my mom told me after meeting Sophia. "Don't let her go." I had no intention of letting her go. 6 months after I'd saved Mr. Harrison's life, my world was completely unrecognizable. I had a job I loved, a salary that meant my mom and I never had to worry about money again, a woman I was falling in love with, and a future that looked impossibly bright. But that wasn't even the end of it. One afternoon, Mr. Harrison called me into his office. This was becoming routine. We'd have lunch together a couple times a week, talk strategy, discuss the foundation's direction. But today felt different. He seemed nervous, which was unusual for him. "Marcus, sit down. I have something important to discuss with you." I sat, my stomach in knots. "Is everything okay?" "Everything's perfect, actually. But I need to tell you something I've been thinking about for a while now." He took a deep breath. "I'm planning to retire early. In 6 months, I'm stepping down as CEO of Harrison Tech Solutions." "What? Why?" "I'm 68 years old. I've built this company from nothing, and it's been my life. But since David died, I've realized that life is short, too short to spend it all in boardrooms and on conference calls. I want to travel, spend time with the people I care about, enjoy the years I have left. That makes sense. You deserve that. There's more. I'm also stepping down from the foundation, and I want you to take over completely. My mouth went dry. Mr. Harrison, I've only been here 6 months. And in those 6 months, you've proven yourself beyond any doubt. The board loves you. The organizations we work with love. I trust you completely. You're ready for this, Marcus. I don't know what to say. Say yes. The board has already approved it. Your salary would increase to $250,000 a year, and you'd have complete autonomy over the foundation's operations. I'd remain as an advisor if you need me, but the foundation would be yours to run. I sat there, completely stunned. $250,000 a year. Complete control of a $50 million foundation. At 23 years old. This is insane, I whispered. This is your life now, Marcus. Get used to it. He smiled. So what do you say? Yes, of course, yes. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Now, there's one more thing. He pulled out another envelope. Seemed like he loved dramatic envelope moments. Open it. Inside was a set of keys and a deed to a property. What is this? I own a townhouse in Uptown. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, garage, rooftop terrace. It's been sitting empty for 2 years. I want you to have it. Have it? Like, live in it. No, Marcus, I'm giving it to you. It's yours. Consider it a bonus for your exceptional work. I looked at the address. Uptown, Dallas. I knew that area. It was where the rich people lived. Townhouses there went for $500,000. Easy. Mr. Harrison, this is too much. Marcus Chen, if you say this is too much one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. You saved my life. You've brought purpose back to my foundation. You've reminded me what it means to care about people. This isn't too much. This is exactly right. Tears were streaming down my face. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Now go tell your mother she's getting a better place to recover. That apartment you're in isn't fit for someone going through cancer treatment. He was right. The townhouse would be perfect for both of us. That weekend, I moved out of my roach-infested studio and into the most beautiful home I'd ever seen. 3 stories, hardwood floors, a kitchen with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances, a master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom that had a jacuzzi tub. The rooftop terrace had a view of the Dallas skyline. My mom cried when she saw it. How is this real? She kept saying. I don't know, Mom, but it is. The next few months were a whirlwind. I officially took over the foundation, implementing new programs, expanding our reach. We started a scholarship fund for kids from low-income families. We funded a new wing at the Children's Hospital where Sophia worked. We launched a program providing free job training for people transitioning out of poverty. My mom's cancer went into remission. The doctors said the new treatment, fully covered by my insurance, had worked better than they'd hoped. She was weak, still recovering, but the cancer was gone. Sophia and I got more serious. I knew I wanted to marry her. I'd never been so sure of anything in my life. But if you think that's where the story ends, you're wrong. Because the biggest twist was still coming. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. Drop a like. If you think I did the right thing, and leave a comment telling me what you would have done. And subscribe if you want more stories like this. 9 months after I'd saved Mr. Harrison's life, he invited me to dinner at his house. I'd been to his place before, a massive estate in Highland Park, but this felt different. He said it was important, that he needed to discuss something with me in private. I drove over on a Saturday evening, my stomach in knots. What could be so important? His housekeeper, Maria, let me in and led me to his study. Mr. Harrison was sitting in a leather armchair by the fireplace, a glass of whiskey in his hand. He looked older than usual, tired. Marcus, thank you for coming. Sit down. Can I get you a drink? Just water, thanks. Maria brought me water and left, closing the door behind her. Marcus, I need to tell you something. Something I've kept from you since the day we met. My heart started pounding. Okay? You know I told you about my son, David, how he died 10 years ago in a car accident. Yes. What I didn't tell you was the full story. He set down his glass, his hands shaking slightly. David wasn't just killed in any act. He was driving home from volunteering at a homeless shelter when a drunk driver hit him head-on. David was killed instantly. The drunk driver survived with minor injuries. God, Mr. Harrison, I'm so sorry. The driver was a wealthy businessman. He hired expensive lawyers, got off with a suspended sentence and community service. No jail time, nothing. That's when I realized that money can buy justice, or the lack of it. That's why I started the foundation. I wanted David's death to mean something. That's an incredible legacy. There's more. He looked at me intensely. About a month after David died, I learned something that destroyed me. David had just found out he was going to be a father. His girlfriend, Emma, was pregnant. He was planning to propose to her. They were going to tell me the news the weekend after he died. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. He had a child? A son. Emma gave birth 7 months after David died. She named him David Marcus Harrison, Marcus after her father. She wanted to keep David's memory alive. David Marcus. Marcus. Where is he now? Emma was young, only 22 at the time. She was overwhelmed, grieving, struggling. Her family wasn't supportive. I offered to help financially, but she was proud. She moved away to Austin, cut off contact with me. I respected her wishes, but I've had private investigators keeping tabs on her and my grandson from a distance, making sure they were okay. Your grandson. You have a grandson? Yes. He's 9 years old now. And Emma. He paused, his voice cracking. Emma died 6 months ago. Breast cancer. The same kind your mother had. She fought it for 2 years, but it was too aggressive. Oh my God. My grandson is currently in foster care in Austin. Emma had no family willing to take. I only found out last week. My investigators hadn't been checking as regularly as they should have. When I found out, I immediately filed for custody. As his biological grandfather, I have a strong case. The hearing is next month. That's good, right? You'll get custody? Yes, I will. But here's the thing, Marcus. I'm almost 70 years old. I'm not in the best health. That choking incident should have been a wake-up call. I smoke too much, drink too much, work too. I might have 10 good years left if I'm lucky. And I don't know if I have the energy to raise a 9-year-old boy alone. Where was he going with this? Marcus, when I met you, when you told me your name, something clicked in my mind. Marcus, like my grandson. And then I got to know you. Your character, your heart, your values. Everything about you reminded me of David. And I started thinking, what if this wasn't a coincidence? I don't understand. What if fate put you in that Burger King that morning? What if you were meant to save my life so that you could help me save my grandson? My mouth went dry. What are you asking? I'm asking if you would consider being a part of his life. Not as a father, I'm not asking you to adopt him, but as a mentor, a big brother figure. Someone who could show him what a good man looks like. Someone who could help me raise him. I sat back, my mind raced. A 9-year-old boy who'd lost both his parents, sitting in foster care, waiting for a grandfather he'd never met to rescue him. Have you told Sophia about this? I asked. Not yet. I wanted to talk to you first. Can I meet him before I give you an answer? Of course. I was hoping you'd say that. The next weekend, Mr. Harrison and I drove to Austin together. The foster home was in a quiet neighborhood, a normal-looking house with a swing set in the backyard. A woman named Miss Chen, no relation, opened the door. Mr. Harrison, Marcus, come in. David's in the playroom. She led us to a small room with toys scattered everywhere. A boy was sitting on the floor, building something with Legos. He had dark hair, like his grandmother must have had, but his eyes, those were Mr. Harrison's eyes, David's eyes. David, you have visitors, Mrs. Chen said gently. The boy looked up and my heart broke. He looked so small, so sad. There was a wariness in his eyes that no 9-year-old should have. "Hi, David. I'm your grandfather, Robert. We talked on the phone, remember?" "Yeah." His voice was quiet. "And this is my friend, Marcus. He works with me." I knelt down next to him. "Hey, David, that's a cool Lego set. What are you building?" "A spaceship." He showed it to me. It was actually pretty impressive. "Dude, that's awesome. I used to love Legos when I was your age." "Really?" "Really. I built this whole city once. Took me like 3 months." A tiny smile appeared on his face. "That sounds cool." We spent the next hour just hanging out with him, playing Legos, talking about school, about his favorite TV shows. He was a smart kid, a little shy, but he warmed up gradually. And watching Mr. Harrison with him, seeing the tears in the older man's eyes when David laughed, I knew what my answer would be. On the drive back to Dallas, I said it out loud. "I'm in. Whatever you need, I'll help." Mr. Harrison grabbed my hand and squeezed it. "Thank you, Marcus. Thank you." The custody hearing went smoothly. The judge awarded custody to Mr. Harrison, and a month later, David Marcus Harrison moved into his grandfather's house in Highland Park. It was an adjustment for everyone. David was grieving, traumatized, struggling with the massive changes in his life. Mr. Harrison was learning how to be a parent again. And I became a fixture at their house. I'd come over after work, help David with his homework, play basketball with him in the driveway, take him out for pizza. Sophia came too. She was amazing with kids, and David adored her. Slowly, gradually, David started to heal. He started to smile more, laugh more. He joined a soccer team at school. He made friends. He called Mr. Harrison Grandpa and started calling me Uncle Mark. 6 months after David came to live with his grandfather, I proposed to Sophia on the rooftop terrace of the townhouse Mr. Harrison had given me. David helped me plan it. He decorated the space with candles and flowers, and he was hiding in the stairwell with a camera to capture the moment. She said yes. We got married 8 months later in a small ceremony in Mr. Harrison's backyard. David was the ring bearer. My mom, who was now completely cancer-free and stronger than ever, cried through the entire ceremony. Mr. Harrison walked Sophia down the aisle. Her own father had passed away the year before, and she'd asked Mr. Harrison to do the honor. Everything was perfect. My life was perfect. But then, on the morning after our wedding, Mr. Harrison called me. "Marcus, can you and Sophia come over? I need to talk to both of you." We drove over, still in our post-wedding bliss, wondering what was so urgent. Mr. Harrison was in his study again, with his lawyer this time. David was at a friend's house. "Sit down, both of you." His face was serious, but not sad. Almost excited. We sat. "I've made some decisions about my estate," he began, "and I wanted you both to know before the documents are finalized." My stomach dropped. Was he sick? Dying? "First of all, I'm fine. I'm healthy. But I'm 70 years old, and I need to get my affairs in order." He looked at his lawyer, who pulled out some documents. "Marcus, Sophia, over the past year, you've become family to me and to David. You've given us both a second chance at happiness, so I've made some changes to my will. Mr. Harrison, you don't have to—" "Hush, let me finish." He smiled. "I'm leaving the majority of my estate to David, obviously, but I'm also leaving a significant portion to you, Mark. Specifically, I'm leaving you 20% of my shares in Harrison Tech Solutions, which is currently valued at approximately $40 million. And I'm setting up a trust fund for any children you and Sophia might have. $10 million to be divided equally among them." I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Sophia grabbed my hand, her own hands shaking. "Additionally," Mr. Harrison continued, "I'm leaving the foundation entirely in your hands, not just as director, but as owner. It will be yours to run as you see fit, with a guaranteed annual funding of $50 million from my estate in perpetuity." "Robert," Sophia whispered, I don't even know what to say." "Say you'll take care of David if anything happens to me. That's all I ask. He loves you both. If something happens to me, I want him to go to you. I've already spoken to my lawyer about it." you'd be his guardians. Tears were streaming down my face. Of course. Then it settled. He looked satisfied. Now, let's talk about something more fun. David's birthday is next month. He wants to go to Disney World. Think you two can take a week off and come with us? We went to Disney World. We took a summer vacation to Hawaii. We celebrated every holiday together. Thanksgiving, Christmas, David's birthday, my birthday, Sophia's birthday. We became a family. 2 years after I saved Mr. Harrison's life, Sophia and I had our first child. A daughter we named Grace. Mr. Harrison cried when he held her for the first time. David, now 11, was thrilled to be a big cousin. My mom, now completely healthy and cancer-free for 3 years, moved into a condo near us. She babysat Grace 3 days a week while Sophia and I worked. The foundation continued to grow. We were now giving away $75 million a year, impacting thousands of lives. I hired staff from similar backgrounds as mine, people who'd struggled, who understood what it meant to need help. The foundation became known for its compassion and effectiveness. Life was beautiful. Life was perfect. And it all started because I didn't hesitate to help a stranger who was choking on a breakfast sandwich at a Burger King off Highway 75. Looking back now, 3 years later, I still can't believe how much my life has changed. I'm 26 years old. I'm a director of a major foundation, making $250,000 a year. I own a beautiful townhouse in one of the best neighborhoods in Dallas. I have $40 million in stock waiting for me when Mr. Harrison passes, which hopefully won't be for a long time. I'm married to the most amazing woman I've ever met. I have a beautiful daughter and a nephew in all but name who I love like he's my own. My mom is healthy and happy, living her best life, spoiling her granddaughter rotten. And Mr. Harrison, who insisted I start calling him Robert 2 years ago, is living his best life too. He's traveling, spending time with David, teaching him about business, about life, about being a good man. He's at peace in a way I don't think he was before. Sometimes I drive past that Burger King where I used to work. They've remodeled it since I left. New paint, new sign. But I still remember standing behind that register, exhausted and broke, thinking my life would never change. I remember seeing Robert choking and how I didn't even think, I just acted. That split-second decision changed everything. Here's what I've learned. Life can change in an instant. One moment, one decision, one act of kindness, it can set off a chain reaction you never could have predicted. I didn't save Robert's life expecting anything in return. I did it because it was the right thing to do. Because when you see someone in trouble, you help. That's it. That's the whole lesson. But somehow, that simple act of human decency opened doors I didn't even know existed. It brought me a family, a purpose, a future I never could have imagined. So, if you take anything from my story, take this. Be kind. Help people when they need it. Don't expect anything in return, but be open to the possibility that the universe might surprise you. You never know who you're helping. You never know how that one moment might change your entire life. That stranger you helped today might be the person who changes your tomorrow. Stay hopeful, stay kind, and never underestimate the power of doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching. Especially when nobody's watching. That's when it matters most.